What's up guys, JuJu Smith-Schuster, Chris Jones, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle were among the NFL's top breakout superstars from 2018. Now it's time to play the guessing game and predict which young stars will piece it all together in 2019. Not every NFL team will see a pleasant breakout player in the season, but they all have at least one young star who can offer some promise. So let's dive into it. Make sure to subscribe to TPS and put on your notifications because we post videos all the time, new videos all the time. And a big shout out to the true Jake for suggesting this video. Arizona Cardinals, Christian KIRK. The Texas A&M product was among the few bright spots for the Arizona Cardinals in 2018. KIRK caught 43 passes for 590 yards and 3 touchdowns in his rookie season. Now, he gets to work with a special quarterback in Kyler Murray. Having an offensive-minded head coach in Cliff Kingsbury should help quite a bit. With Larry Fitzgerald now on the decline, KIRK should step in and flourish as Arizona's top receiver. Expect a big year. Atlanta Falcons, Vic Beasley. This athletically gifted Beasley has been a key cog on Atlanta's defense. But aside from a 15.5 sack season in 2016, he hasn't exactly displayed his full potential. Head coach Dan Quinn is taking over as the new defensive coordinator, which will benefit Beasley immensely. Quinn will find a way to maximize Beasley's tremendous skill set once and for all. Look for a double-digit sack season for Beasley, and he'll help the Falcons reassert themselves as a championship-caliber team. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. The Ravens won 6 of 7 games under Jackson to win the AFC North, before losing to the Los Angeles Chargers in the AFC wildcard round. Jackson only completed 58.2% of his passes for 1,201 yards and 6 touchdowns against 3 picks. He did tons of damage on the ground though, compiling 695 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. While the Ravens have had plenty of time to work on Jackson's passing game, do-it-all running back Mark Ingram should help the offense. Rookie wideouts Marquise Brown and Miles Boykin should also make big impacts. Jackson will continue to flourish as a runner, but you can expect him to break out as a passer here as well. Think of him as a poor man's Cam Newton. I mean, that's how we see it playing out in 2019. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. There were plenty of ups and downs in Allen's rookie year, but everything is lined up for a breakout sophomore campaign. Newcomers Mitch Morse and Cody Ford will add stability to one of football's worst offensive lines from last season. The Bills also added deep threat wideout John Brown and slot receiver Cole Beasley, supplying Allen with 2 reliable weapons. The ground game should be steady as well, led by LaShawn McCoy, Frank Gore, and rookie Devin Singletary. If the Bills' O-line can go from horrible to merely average, Allen should flourish in his second season. So Bills fans, get excited. Carolina Panthers, DJ Moore. Moore posted solid numbers in his rookie year, finishing with 55 receptions for 788 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was without a healthy Cam Newton for the second half. Assuming Super Cam stays healthy, you just wait and see what Moore can do in his sophomore year. The Panthers know that Christian McCaffrey can't do it all on his own in the rushing and pass catching areas. Newton will target Moore a lot more in 2019, and their chemistry should grow stronger and stronger. Don't be surprised if Moore surpasses 1,000 yards in his sophomore year. Chicago Bears, Mitch Trubisky. Well, practically every Bears defensive player enjoyed a breakout year in 2018. No wonder they had the league's best scoring last season. Now quarterback Mitch Trubisky performed pretty nicely in his sophomore year, with 3,223 yards and 24 touchdowns against 12 picks. But head coach Matt Nagy knows Trubisky has more in him. And as far as we're concerned, Trubisky hasn't come close to reaching his ceiling yet. That's a superb supporting cast built around Trubisky. Now Nagy is going to unleash him. Trubisky should threaten for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Nagy's not going to play it safe with him anymore. Cincinnati Bengals, John Ross. The 9th overall pick from the 2017 draft has disappointed thus far. Now Ross did have 7 touchdowns in 10 games last season, but he also hauled in just 21 receptions for 210 yards. Yes, 1/3 of his receptions were touchdowns. With AJ Green expected to miss several weeks, the door opens for Ross to step up and get more involved in the Cincinnati offense. New head coach Zach Taylor has an offense-first background, which bodes well for Ross. Don't be surprised if he manages to take over as the team's top receiver in 2019. Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield. Now Mayfield dazzled in 2018 and seriously pushed for the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. You may scoff at us for saying he'll break out after a dazzling first season, but we really see a guy who will emerge as a top 3 quarterback here in 2019. Think about it. Mayfield posted good numbers with Jarvis Landry as his only stud pass catcher. Now the Browns have added a top 5 receiver in Odell Beckham Jr. to the mix. 2 Pro Bowl wideouts plus a running back duo of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Dude, they're gonna crush. Are you kidding me? Oh, and having Freddie Kitchens as the head coach for a full year should do wonders for Mayfield as well. Expect him to unleash everything in 2019. He's a prime MVP candidate. We're calling for around 4,500 yards and 40+ touchdowns, and potentially a Super Bowl. Dallas Cowboys, Taco Charlton. The Cowboys front 7 was one of the NFL's most dominant in 2018, but this guy wasn't exactly a huge part of the success. He only started 7 games last season and recorded just 1 sack on the year. He had just 3 sacks in his 2017 rookie year as well. Well, defensive coordinator Rod Marinelli will look to get the best out of him in his 3rd season. Marinelli has maximized the skill sets of Jones, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Leighton Vander Esch. His next project is CHARLTON, and we firmly believe that it's going to be taco time in 2019. 7+ sacks, book it. Denver Broncos, Courtland Sutton. Despite having to work with the ever-inconsistent Case Keenum, Sutton tuned in a nice rookie year with 42 receptions for 704 yards and 4 touchdowns. Doubt Joe Flacco and rookie Drew Lock all you want, but they're better QBs than anybody else Denver has had since Peyton Manning retired. No matter who Denver's quarterback is, Sutton is lined up for a big sophomore year. He'll take over as Denver's top receiver, especially with Emmanuel Sanders recovering from an Achilles injury and getting up there in age. 70+ receptions and 1,000+ yards are plausible numbers here. Detroit Lions, KERRYON Johnson. For the first time in however many years, the Detroit Lions finally found a capable 1,000-yard running back. The name? KERRYON Johnson, who rushed for 641 yards in 10 games during his rookie year. Now just wait and see what Johnson can do in his sophomore year, especially now that he's the top running back on the depth chart. No more splitting the workload, and hopefully he's healthy for all 16 games this time. The Lions will want to cut back on Matt Stafford's workload, given his back injuries. So expect them to pound the rock and use Johnson in a bigger role in 2019. Green Bay Packers, Aaron Jones. You guys thought I was going to say Aaron Rodgers, huh?
My knee.
Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones shared the workload in the Packers' backfield last season, but the latter asserted himself as the superior runner. With that, expect new head coach Matt LaFleur to lean heavily on Jones this upcoming season. Jones finished with 728 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns, averaging a respectable 5.5 yards per carry. The Packers know they can't make Aaron Rodgers do it all again, so LaFleur will most certainly look to balance the offense more. That means a big season is in store for Jones here. He is a must-have for your fantasy team. Houston Texans, Justin Reid. Drafted in the 3rd round by the Texans in 2018, Reid was one of the few bright spots in Houston's awful secondary from last season. With Tyrann Mathieu leaving in free agency, Reid's responsibility grows even more entering 2019, and we have no doubt that he's ready for the role. Their defensive coordinator is one of the best at quickly developing stud defensive backs. He and Bill O'Brien will quickly turn Reid into a reliable ball-hawking safety. If the Texans' defense rebounds in 2019, Reid will be a huge reason why. Indianapolis Colts, Marlon Mack. The Colts were a pass-heavy team in 2018, but Marlon Mack added a nice element in the offense with 908 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. Frank Reich knows that Mack is a special weapon for his offense, and the Colts will certainly look to get more out of him. The Colts haven't had many stud running backs in the Luck era, but Mack is an exception. Indy has to make the most of his talents here, and they will. Don't be shocked if Mack finishes with over 1,500 yards from scrimmage in 2019. Jacksonville Jaguars, Marquise Lee. A knee injury forced Lee to miss the entire 2018 season. Such a shame, because Lee had surpassed the 700-yard mark in consecutive seasons prior to that. He was poised for a breakout year in 2018. Well, it'll finally happen here in 2019. The Jaguars cut Blake Bortles and signed Super Bowl 52 MVP Nick Foles. No question that the latter is a giant upgrade over the inconsistent Bortles. Right now, Lee is the best pass catcher on Jacksonville's depth chart. Foles will lean heavily on Lee to help him carry the passing game, and the latter will embrace the QB upgrade and turn in his best season yet. Kansas City Chiefs, Damian Williams. The Chiefs turned to Williams to replace Kareem Hunt, and the former fit the role perfectly. He shined as the new lead running back and was a monster in the AFC Championship game, putting up 3 touchdowns on Bill Belichick's mighty New England Patriots. Williams gets to be the top running back for the first time in his NFL career. He's in the NFL's most explosive offense, led by reigning MVP Patrick Mahomes. Plus, head coach Andy Reid absolutely loves using his top running backs in the passing game as well. Williams is set for his best NFL season yet. Bank on over 1,000 rushing yards and around 500 receiving yards. Los Angeles Chargers, Hunter Henry. The 6'5", 250-pound tight end had to miss 2018 after suffering a torn ACL during a practice in May. The Chargers offense got by without Henry, but there's no doubting he can make it an even more potent unit. Henry had 579 receiving yards back in 2017, as his chemistry with Phillip Rivers improved gradually over time. He's had over a year to recover, and now Henry's ready for prime time in the Chargers offense. Not sure if he'll push for 1,000+ yards on a stacked Chargers receiving core, but Henry should threaten for double-digit touchdowns. He'll do his damage in the red zone and enjoy a nice breakout year. Los Angeles Rams, Dante Fowler Jr. Following a lackluster tenure in Jacksonville, Fowler was dealt to the Rams ahead of the 2018 trade deadline. He became a nice weapon for Wade Phillips' defense and turned it on in the playoffs, recording 1.5 sacks in 3 postseason games. Fowler now gets a full season of Phillips and Sean McVay. With Ndamukong Suh leaving for Tampa Bay, Fowler will see a bigger role in the Rams' defense. If there's one guy that can help Fowler reach his full potential once and for all, it's Phillips. Miami Dolphins, Josh Rosen. The Dolphins have by far the most talentless roster in football, but at least second Second-year QB Josh Rosen gives fans some reason for tuning in. The Finns acquired him in a trade with the Arizona Cardinals, who decided to make Kyler Murray their new franchise quarterback. Rosen had some brilliant moments on a horrendous Arizona team, with practically no offensive line and an okay set of receivers. The 2019 Dolphins don't offer much more than the 2018 Cardinals, but they really can't be any worse. Maybe a change of scenery is all Rosen needs to unleash his potential while asserting himself as the QB of the Dolphins' future. Minnesota Vikings, Dalvin Cook. Now, health is a key role for Cook here. He's only appeared in 15 NFL games through his first 2 seasons, but we liked what we saw in 2018. Cook had 615 rushing yards and 40 receptions for 305 receiving yards, but you know he's capable of doing more. The Vikings rebuilt their O-line by signing Josh Klein and drafting Garrett Bradbury. The run blocking in Minnesota will be better. Plus, the Vikings know it's not a good idea to have Kirk Cousins throw too often. He'll need some help in the backfield, and Cook is more than capable of supplying it. Cook should be considered a sleeper for the rushing title. Again, this is if he can manage to stay healthy, and if the Vikings are smart enough to use him accordingly. New England Patriots, J.C. Jackson, Stephon Gilmore, and Devin McCourty earned most of the attention in the Pats secondary, but corner J.C. Jackson quietly enjoyed a productive rookie season. Now Belichick is ready to turn him into a real lockdown stud. The undrafted product out of Maryland had a 20% completion rate, which ranked 5th among corners in 2018, per Pro Football Focus. Now it's time for Jackson to reach the next level and form the league's best cornerback duo alongside Stephon Gilmore. New Orleans Saints, Sheldon Rankins. The 305-pound defensive tackle put together his best season yet in 2018, recording 8 sacks and 15 QB hits. But we just know that the number 12 pick from 2016 is capable of doing even more in 2019. That's assuming he can recover accordingly from a torn Achilles that he sustained in the playoffs. Rankins' production has gradually gotten better over time. At this rate, there's no reason to believe he can hit a Pro Bowl-like level. Look for him to push for double-digit sacks, forming one of the game's top pass rushing duos alongside Cameron Jordan. New York Giants, Evan Ingram. The 6'3" tight end has compiled 109 receptions for 1,299 yards and 9 touchdowns over his first 2 NFL seasons. With Odell Beckham Jr. gone, the chance is there for Ingram to emerge as a special weapon for the Giants' passing game. Ingram, Golden Tate, and Sterling Shepard form a pretty good pass-catching trio. He will especially do damage in the red zone. It would not surprise us if he was the Giants' leading receiver by the season's end. The skill set is there for him to make it happen. New York Jets, Sam Darnold. We'd happily make a case that Darnold is the biggest breakout candidate among every NFL player. The guy himself has so much potential, but it's other factors that lead us to believe that he's in line for a very special season. For starters, new head coach Adam Gase is great at working with quarterbacks. He'll help develop Darnold accordingly after the latter endured a frustrating rookie year. Not only that, but free agent pickup Le'Veon Bell promises to deliver a plenty in both of the rushing and passing games. Now slot receiver Jamison Crowder should be a nice complement to underrated receiver Robbie Anderson as well. With a new head coach and a rebuilt supporting cast, Darnold is ready to make giant leaps in 2019. Jets fans, enjoy this. We deserve this. We waited way too long for a true starting quarterback. It's our time. Oakland Raiders, Kolton Miller. Drafted in the first round by the Raiders in 2018, the giant 6'8" offensive tackle really struggled in his rookie year. That's often the case for rookie offensive linemen though. Experience will help Miller plenty. Plus the addition of Trenton Brown on the O-line should take a bit of pressure off of him. John Gruden will have had more time to work with Miller on his pass blocking game. And if all goes according to plan, Miller will help this Oakland O-line develop into one of the NFL's best once again. Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Goedert. Zach Ertz is coming off his best season yet, but that doesn't mean fellow tight end Dallas Goedert can't develop into a special weapon for Carson Wentz and company. On a stacked Philadelphia receiving core, Goedert managed 33 receptions for 334 yards and 4 touchdowns. Goedert will be overlooked by opposing defenses as they focus on Ertz, Alshon Jeffrey, and Deshaun Jackson. That might allow him to grow into a big-time playmaker in Philly. Pittsburgh Steelers, James Washington. Many inside the organization have raved about James Washington. They believe he's ready to build off an okay rookie year in which he caught just 16 passes. Antonio Brown is gone, meaning JuJu Smith-Schuster is the top receiver in the Steel City. That also means Washington can slot in as the number 2 receiver. The Steelers develop their wideouts better than anybody else, just as Hines Ward, Mike Wallace, Emmanuel Sanders, Brown, and Smith-Schuster. Washington is poised to make the most of Brown's departure by enduring a breakout year in 2019. San Francisco 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo. 2018 was supposed to be Jimmy G's breakout year, but he sadly tore his ACL in week 3 and was sidelined for the remainder of the year. This time, Jimmy G will break out. He's been a gem under Kyle Shanahan, and the 49ers rebuilt Garoppolo's supporting cast. George Kittle is coming off the best season ever for a tight end. Rookie wideouts Jalen Hurd and Deebo Samuel should make big impacts as well. And let's not forget about the duo of Tevin Coleman and Matt Breida. Yeah, Garoppolo is ready for a breakout year. It's long overdue, and it's gonna happen. Seattle Seahawks, Jarran Reed. Reed didn't do a whole lot in his rookie or sophomore seasons, but he pulled through in 2018 with a 10.5 sack season. Top pass rusher Frank Clark was traded to Kansas City in the offseason, which means the Seahawks will rely on Reed to take over as their top pass rusher. You might deem 2018 as a breakout season for Reed. We think he's just getting started though. He can easily push for 12 plus sacks. The 2016 second round pick is capable of more than what we saw in 2018. Reed will emerge as a top pass rusher for the Seahawks in 2019. A Pro Bowl selection isn't out of the question here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, O.J. Howard. Howard missed 6 games last season, but he still posted good numbers. 34 receptions, 565 yards, and 5 touchdowns. If healthy, improvement is a gimme for Howard. Not only that, but his role in the passing game should increase with pass catchers Deshaun Jackson and Adam Humphries gone. Mike Evans can't do it all. New head coach Bruce Arians will ensure that Jameis Winston gets the ball to Howard a lot. It wouldn't be a surprise if Howard emerged as a top 3 tight end by season's end. Tennessee Titans, Marcus Mariota. Mariota has been good through his first 4 years, but not great, and the Titans expect greatness. They took him with the 2nd overall pick in 2015 for a reason. Injuries and a mediocre supporting cast haven't helped, but now Mariota is set up for a special year under second-year head coach Mike Vrabel. Not only does he have a terrific O-line to work with, Mariota also has a workhorse 1,000-yard back in Derrick Henry, a returning Pro Bowl tight end in Delaney Walker, a potential #1 receiver in Corey Davis, a reliable slot receiver in Adam Humphries, a dynamic and athletic wideout in rookie A.J. Brown. That's 5 superb offensive weapons for Mariota to work with. Yeah, we think the kid will be pretty good in 2019. A breakout season is the only way. Washington Redskins, Darren Payne. Washington's first-round pick from 2018 had a nice rookie year. Payne tallied 5 sacks, 3 passes defended, and 1 forced fumble. But the potential is there for Payne to do even more in his sophomore year. We do expect the Redskins to be among football's worst teams in 2019, but their front 7 is better than you think. Payne has all the tools to take his game to another level. Expect double-digit sacks, as Darren will be, well, a pain for other teams to deal with. I'm sorry, that was awful. Which other NFL player do you think will have the biggest breakout year? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. You should also subscribe to my YouTube channel because I post videos all the time as well. It's more of me. They're pretty fun. I think you'll enjoy them. You'll probably laugh. So yeah, subscribe. Subscribe to TPS because we post videos all the time. New sports content all the time. Subscribe. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes 1 click. Just 1 click right down there. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. My knee.
My knee.